Hello viewers, welcome to online classes, day 9th, lesson 9. Today we are going to discuss the topic digestive glands. To understand the physiology of digestion, essentially required to learn about the digestive glands and their secretions and enzymes. Why? Because mainly the digestive enzymes mediates the process of digestion. Hence, essentially required to learn about the digestive glands. Understand, student? We'll move to a recapitulation. In last class, we discussed about histology of stomach and histology of the intestine. Yes, let's go to learn about digestive glands. The human digestive system contains two parts, mainly digestive tract and digestive glands. Already we learned about digestive tract. Let us about digestive glands. The digestive glands, whatever present in human being, organized as executed as two kinds. One is extra alimentary canal digestive glands, and second one is intra alimentary canal digestive glands. The digestive glands, whatever seated outside the gut, they called extra alimentary canal digestive glands. For our students, intra means inside, whatever accommodated along the wall of the alimentary canal, they called intra alimentary canal digestive glands. If we observe extra alimentary canal digestive glands, the extra alimentary canal digestive glands are three variants. The first variant, salivary glands, and second variant, liver, and third one, pancreas. So, three variants of digestive glands accommodated outside the alimentary canal, and they pour their secretion into lumen of the alimentary canal. Follow strands. So remaining are what? Intra-alimentary canal digested. These type of digestive glands seated in the wall of the alimentary canal. They present in the wall of the alimentary canal and they pour their secretions directly into lumen of the alimentary canal. So they are as follows. You observe they are gastric glands and next one Brunner's glands and the crypts of Leberkuhn. The Brunner gland and crypts of Leberkuhn togetherly considered as intestinal glands. Followed. So ultimately, totally 6 variants of digestive glands associated with our alimentary canal that involve in physiology of digestion. So first we'll discuss about salivary glands. Three pairs of salivary glands present in human being. They are parotid glands, sublingual glands, and submaxillary salivary glands. Followed. So, three variants of salivary glands are there: parotid, sublingual, submaxillary. Remember? Yes. Next, you observe this visual. In this, these are parotid salivary glands and sublingual and submandibular, otherwise submaxillary. So three variants, right? In case of other mammals, of course, man is mammal other than human being. In case of other mammals, maybe carnivores and herbivore, whatever it may be. In case of other mammals, 4 variants of salivary glands are present. In them, all these 3 variants of salivary glands remains. Besides it, the additional one is infraorbital salivary gland. It is very important. Ask in entrance examination infraorbital salivary gland. The infraorbital salivary gland absent in human being, present in other mammals. Remember students. Right, next we'll discuss about each and every salivary gland. This is parotid salivary gland. You observe mainly location. It's seated near the ear, one on either side. It is the largest salivary gland, seated near the ear, and the parotid glands are open into oral cavity by mean of a duct that is called Stenson duct. Very important. So the duct name is Stenson duct. This is Stenson duct that opens at upper second molar and discharges saliva into oral cavity. Right, this is Stenson duct and opens at upper second molar. The saliva discharged in oral cavity. And next, sublingual salivary glands. The sublingual salivary glands, sub means below, lingual means tongue, below the tongue they seated one on either side. So these are sublingual salivary glands, and these are smallest salivary glands seated below the tongue, and they pours the secretion into oral cavity by mean of ducts of Rivinus ducts of Rivinus. Followed. Right. Third variant, submandibular salivary glands, also called as submaxillary salivary glands. Verify. These are submandibular salivary glands, and they located at corner of lower jaw, this site, and they located at corner of lower jaw and opening to oral cavity by mean of Wharton's duct. Very important. The submandibular salivary glands open into oral cavity by mean of Wharton's duct. Important entrance point of view, and it opens at lower jaw. Right. Next, if we observe the anatomy of salivary glands, the salivary glands internally include many kinds of minute lobules. These minute lobules are formed by cluster of cells. You observe this visual. In this visual, the group of cells are remain together, assembled together, and form a lobule. That is a cluster of cells. The cluster of cells forms two variants of lobules. They are acini, serous acini, and mucous acini lobules. Two variants of lobules are there. Among them, the first one serous acini, the second one mucous acini. The serous acini contain serous cells. The pink color and marked cells you observe, these are serous cells. The serous acini contain serous cells. These serous cells secrete saliva. Followed. So the salivary glands secretes saliva into oral cavity. If we observe composition of saliva, it's very important to learn physiology of digestion. So composition of saliva, if we observe composition of saliva, the saliva pH is 6.8. So it is slightly acidic in condition, and it contains water and mucus, and then electrolytes. They are sodium plus, potassium plus, Cl minus, HCO3 minus ions, and ptyalin enzyme. It is also termed as salivary amylase enzyme. So ions of thiocyanate also present. So the saliva composition, remember, very important. The saliva contain various kinds of substances contents. They are water, mucus, electrolytes, ptyalin, ions of thiocyanate. Right, with this we completed salivary glands. Let's we will move to discuss about second variant of digestive gland, that is the liver. So this is a visual of a liver, dark reddish brown in color. So largest digestive gland, and it is a bilobed gland situated right side in our abdominal cavity, below the um, towards the right side in the abdominal cavity below the diaphragm. Followed. So these two lobes are right lobe and left lobe. Two lobes are there. These two lobes are tie up with a connective tissue structure that is called falciform ligament. You observe this visual. In this visual, the falciform ligament, the white color falciform ligament clearly present. So the falciform ligament joins the two lobes of liver together. And next, if we observe internal structure of the liver, internally the liver lobes contain again many number of hexagonal shape lobules. You observe this visual. In this visual, hexagonal shape structures are there. They called liver lobules. Liver lobules. The liver lobules are enveloped by a connective tissue sheath that is called Glissen's capsule. Most important, asked in entrance examinations. Glissen's capsule. It is a connective tissue envelope. Right. Next, the liver lobules contain hepatic cells and Kupffer cells. The group of hepatic cells, they are rectangular in shape, and the group of hepatic cells forms a hepatic cord. They arranged as linear fashion and form hepatic cords, and that hepatic cords are arranged as radial fashion around the central vein of the liver lobule under the liver lobule. Followed. So the liver lobule contain hepatic cells and Kupffer cells. You observe these are hepatic cords. In between the hepatic cords, prominent sinusoids are there, space are there. In that space, the prominent Kupffer cells are accommodated. The violet color cells you observe, they are Kupffer cells. The yellow color rectangular shaped cells you observe, they are hepatic cells, and they join with each other and form a hepatic cord and arranged as radiating fashion around the central vein. Follow. Right. Students, next, the hepatic cell secretes bile juice, Kupffer cells for phagocytic function. They engulfs the invaders. Kupffer cells are phagocytic cells, and then hepatic cells you observe, they secretes bile juice, and such bile juice collected into minute capillaries, they called bile canaliculi. They are minute tube, initial tubes they are. From the hepatic cells, the bile juice trapped into bile canaliculi. These are initial tubes. Okay, the bile canaliculi merges with each other, and that bile canaliculi gradually open into another tube, that is a Herring tube, Herring canal. So the bile juice first enter into bile canaliculi, next into Herring canal. You observe this visual, the green color tube, the green color tube you observe, this is bile canaliculi and this is Herring canal. Followed. Right. So the bile canaliculi lead into Herring canal. Then these Herring canal open into hepatic ducts. The subsequent duct is hepatic ducts. The minute hepatic ducts also joined with each other and form common hepatic duct. Both left and right uh, hepatic ducts of liver lobes associated with one more duct, that is cystic duct of the gallbladder. So what is gallbladder? You observe the gallbladder is a muscular sac, greenish or light yellowish in color. So you observe this visual. The green color muscular sac is present in between two lobes of liver, that is gallbladder, which stores the bile juice that's secreted by the liver. So it is pear-shaped sac-like structure, stores bile juice, and ultimately at the according to requirement, uh, it discharges the bile juice into small intestine. Right. So from the gallbladder, a minute duct comes out that is called cystic duct. You verify this visual. So this is cystic duct. Followed? This is cystic duct. This cystic duct going to fuse with common hepatic duct and forms bile duct. So this is bile duct. Next, that bile duct at terminal end it guarded by a sphincter. The sphincter is called sphincter of Byoden. And next, you observe the sphincter of Byoden here. So this is sphincter of Byoden. Right. Next, the bile duct again associated with merges with, joins with main pancreatic duct. You observe this visual. The bile duct yellowish color tube going to join, merge with one more brown color tube, you observe, that is the main pancreatic duct, and ultimately form common hepatopancreatic duct. It also termed as ampulla of Vater. The ampulla of Vater also guarded at terminal end by mean of a sphincter, that is sphincter of Addi. So the ampulla of Vater open into duodenum and that guarded by sphincter of Erdi. So it is a common passage by which both the bile juice and pancreatic juice to be released into small intestine. Follow students. So this is about the transport of the bile juice from hepatic cells to small intestine. So that is the path. The path is important. So right next, the fluid that's secreted by liver called bile juice. The bile juice composition, let us will observe its pH about 8.6 and contain water and mucus, and bile salts are present. They are glycolates, tarcholates, and bicarbonates of sodium and potassium. Sodium glycolate, sodium tarcholate, potassium glycolate, potassium tarcholate, like that. So glycolates, tarcholates, bicarbonates of sodium and potassium. And next, bile pigments are present. The bile pigments are bilirubin, biliverdin. One is the red color pigment, another one yellow color pigment. Bilirubin, biliverdin pigments, they are produced by the destruction of the hematin during hemoglobin metabolism. So no digestive enzymes are present in bile juice, remember. So no digestive enzymes, simply salts and pigments are present. So its pH is 8.6 alkaline condition. So with this we completed the composition of bile juice. Let's go to discuss about functions of liver. So if we observe the functions of liver, the liver is a metabolic bowl. All metabolic activities, all metabolic processes in our body takes place in the cells of liver. So hence it commented as metabolic bowl. Remember students, and it serves metabolism of carbohydrates, proteins, and lipids. Carbohydrate metabolism, nothing but glycogenesis process, glycogenolysis process, gluconeogenesis process. All these are different paths concerned to carbohydrate metabolism and protein metabolism, breakdown of protein, construction of protein, synthesis of protein. All these comes under protein metabolism. In the same manner, lipid metabolism, synthesis of lipids and breakdown of the lipids and storage of the everything. So all these are comes under category of lipid metabolism. Due to the various kinds of metabolism that occur in liver, the liver capable to produce heat, it generates our internal body temperature because of this reason. So that's why the liver also commented as thermoregulatory organ. Remember student, it is a thermoregulatory organ. Because of what reason it thermoregulatory organ? In which various kinds of metabolic activities, metabolisms takes place that generates the uh, heat. Follow? Right. Next, detoxifying organ. So it is a detoxification organ. It is a primary check post in our body. Whatever material we consume into our bodies, that material first it enter into the liver from our alimentary canal. So it is a primary check post. Suppose any toxic material present in the food material, that toxic material undergoes detoxification by the liver, and the harmful substances turn into non-harmful substance, even alcohol also. Hello? So like that, the alcohol also become non harmful some extent, beyond the extent that beyond that it unable to do that. So it is a detoxifying organ. And hemophysis phenomena. What is hemophysis? It is a temporary hemophytic organ in the fetus. So it synthesis blood cells in fetus test. So temporary hemophytic organ. And I as well as it is a hemoclastic organ also, erythroclastic organ also. The worn out RBC, whatever dead RBC are there, WBC are there, they can distracted in the Kupffer cells. Okay, so in that process, by the destruction of hemoglobin from the heme, the bilirubin, bilirubinin, bile pigments to be produced. That is erythroclasia process and synthesis of blood proteins. Various kinds of blood proteins to be synthesized in liver. For example, albumin, plasma protein, immunoglobulins, they synthesize in liver, and as well as uh, clotting proteins, anticoagulant, heparin, clotting proteins, fibrinogen, prothrombin, like that, all clotting proteins, whatever present in blood, they synthesized uh, in the liver. And synthesis of vitamins. Some vitamins also synthesized in liver. Vitamin D, vitamin E, like that, and stores iron, copper, like that. Minerals also, and it synthesized urea by ornithine cycle. You remember students, most of the students believes that the urea synthesis occur in kidney. So urea synthesis occur in liver, but it filtered by the kidney. So from the blood the urea separated under kidneys, but whatever urea present in our urine, that to be synthesized in liver by ornithine cycle. Followed. All these are the functions of liver. So next we will discuss with about one more extra alimentary canal digestive gland, that is pancreas. Followed. So the pancreas, it is a both exo and endocrine gland, hence it is called heterocrine gland. It serves dual function, exocrine function and endocrine function. So it's seated, it located posterior to stomach and in the space of duodenum. It is a pinkish color multilobular gland. If we observe the morphology of the pancreas, externally differentiated as sequentially three regions. One is head, neck and body, followed Right, next, in the pancreas internally contain lobes, and in the from that lobules the pancreatic juice collected by pancreatic duct. The main pancreatic duct is considered as duct of Wirsung. Now I am elevating the duct of in Wirsung, the pink color tube, the central middle pink color tube, larger sized, that is called duct of Wirsung, which carries pancreatic juice and pour it into lumen of intestine. Right, next, you observe this anatomy of pancreas. If we observe histology of pancreas, it includes two variants of lobes. There are exocrine lobes and endocrine lobes. The exocrine parts are called acini. The endocrine parts are called islets of Langerhans. You observe this visual. In this visual, yellow color lobules are islet. Yellow color lobules are, these are acini lobes, and you observe central, the middle, these are endocrine lobes. These are called islets of Langerhans. Very very important. Right, next, the exocrine parts acini contain acinar cells. That acinar cells secretes pancreatic juice. If we observe the composition of pancreatic juice, its pH is 8.4 to 8.6 or 8.9. So highest pH, and alkaline in condition, and it contain various kinds of proenzymes, means inactive enzymes. So the proenzymes are trypsinogen enzyme and chymotrypsinogen. These two are endopeptidases. And third one, procarboxypeptidase, it is exopeptidase category. And pancreatic amylase, pancreatic lipase, it also called stiapsin. And nucleases, the nucleases are DNAase and RNase. And besides that, sodium bicarbonate also present in pancreatic juice. Okay, so the pancreatic juice contain proenzymes, pancreatic amylase, stiapsin, nucleases, and sodium bicarbonates. With this we completed about pancreas. All these are asked in short answer type of questions. Students, you have to read all these things clearly. And next we will go to discuss about intra alimentary canal digestive gland. The intra alimentary canal digestive glands, among them the first one, gastric glands. You observe this visual, these are gastric glands. The gastric glands are seated in the wall of stomach. According to region, there are various kinds, of course. The regions, cardiac glands or their funding glands or their pylori glands are mainly the whatever gastric gland that seated in body, so they called fundic gastric gland. These are the flask shaped or microscopic tubular glands that are produced by the invagination of the mucosa layer. Previously we learned in histology of gut also, they formed by the mucosa lining. That epithelium undergoes invagination and form tubular glands, they called gastric glands. And these gastric glands contain various kinds of functional cells. Different cells are uh, grouped together and form these gastric glands. They are neck cells or goblet cells. You observe this visual at neck region, pink color cells. They are neck cells or goblet cells. Next, another variant of cell is parietal cell, otherwise oxtic cells. They are also called oxtic cells. You observe green color marked cells. You observe they are parietal cells or oxtic cells. And chief cells, also called zymogen cells, blue color or white color and marked cells. You observe they are chief cells or zymogen cells present at the base of the gastric glands. And next, Some of endocrine cells also associate with the gastric glands. They are G cells and next D cells. These two are endocrine cells. So these are the various kinds of cells that associated with the gastric glands. Let's we'll see they secretes what thing. So the next cells also called goblet cells. You verify that these are goblet cells and the goblet cells secretes mucus. Simply each and every cell secretion compulsory require hours in entrance examination. Then goblet cell secretes mucus. Yes, next variant parietal cells also called oxtic cells. You verify these are oxtic cells and these oxtic cells secretes hydrochloric acid HCl, very important. Due to the presence of HCl the gastric juice pH is very low and hydrochloric acid HCl and one more secretion caseal intrinsic factor. The parietal cell secretes two content, one is HCl and another one is caseal intrinsic factor. That caseal intrinsic factor for absorption of B12 vitamin whatever present in consumed food. In our consumed food various kinds of vitamins remain, so that B12 vitamin to be absorbed into our blood, that thing mediated by this caseal intrinsic factor. So the parietal cells are secretes two content, one is hydrochloric acid, another one caseal intrinsic factor. Follow students. Right, next the third variant chief cells or zymogen cells present at bottom of the gastric gland. These are secretes proenzymes. So they are prorenin, one variant of enzyme, another one pepsinogen. Proenzyme means they are inactive enzymes. Okay, after further action, after becoming activation, they start they involve in digestion, they involve in hydrolysis process. So proenzymes of gastric juice are prorenin and pepsinogen, and little amount of gastric amylase and lipase also secreted by these zymogen cells. And the next variant endocrine cells, G cells, also called Argentafin cells. You observe these are Argentafin cells. These Argentafin cells secretes gastrin hormone, serotonin, histamine, and gastrin hormone. Three variants: serotonin, vasoconstrictor, that is histamine, vasodilator, that one, gastrin, it is a kind of hormone. So all these contents function. Later in subsequent classes we will learn in detail. So next D cells, another endocrine cells. D cells, you observe yellow color cells are there. They secrete somatostatin, regulates secretion of growth hormone. So the gastric gland secretes a fluid that is called gastric juice. If we observe the composition of gastric juice, its pH is 0.9 to 2.5, very least acidic in condition, and contain proenzymes, namely prorenin, pepsinogen, and HCl, caseal intrinsic factor, and all these are contents of the gastric glands. Next, we are going to discuss about intestinal glands. These are two variants of intestinal glands are present in the wall of intestine. They are also produced by the invagination of the mucosa layer. They are two variants. One is Brunner gland and second variant is Scripps of Leber-Kuhn, also called Succus entericus glands. Followed students. So the intestinal glands are two variants. One is Brunner gland, another one Scripps of Leber-Kuhn. Right. Next, the Brunner gland. The Brunner glands are present in the submucosa of duodenum. Already we learned. They secretes mucus. Alert. Right. Next, another variant, crypts of Leber-Kuhn. The crypts of Leber-Kuhn, also called Succus entericus glands. You observe this visual, produced by the mucosa, invagination of mucosa layer of small intestine, present in between the villi. So they also tubular flask gland like gastric glands, and they contain various kinds of cells, mucus cells, enterocytes, and Paneth cells. Three variants of cells are there. In different color they provided. You observe the mucous cells are orange color, and next at the base pink color Paneth cells are there, and enterocytes blue color represented cells, enterocytes. Three variants of cells are present associated with the succus entericus gland. The fluid that's secreted by crypts of Lieberkühn called intestinal juice, otherwise succus enterica juice. Its pH 7.8, and the contents of it are water and mucus. The enzyme activator enterokinase is present. Exopeptidases category aminopeptidase, tripeptidase, and dipeptidase, and saccharidases are present. The saccharidases are nothing but they are also called brush border enzymes. The saccharidases are sucrases, lactase, maltase, fructase, and besides that intestinal lipase is present, and nucleotidases and nucleosidases are present. So with this we completed the we completed about digestive glands. In next class we will discuss about physiology of digestion.